morning. I hear your minister Rex is enjoying a well-deserved vacation this morning, and so he asked me to come over. He gave me the opportunity during Bible class here this morning. We're going to be actually talking about Burnt Cabin, and I want to introduce who I am. My name is Don English, and I am the new camp manager for Burnt Cabin. I just started this year. Been down here in Oklahoma since November 1st of last year, and took over from Sam Yaws, and doing the work out there and really enjoying it. And kind of want to tell you all about some of the things that are being planned and some of the things that are going on right now. So let's actually begin with a prayer, though, as we start this morning. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the day that you've blessed us with. We've asked that you would continue to use us in your service. Lord, whatever service that you deem for us, we ask that you would help us to have the knowledge and the strength and the commitment, Lord, to do those things that you need. Lord, may every day of our lives be subject to you, and Lord, may every day be dedicated to doing your will. We thank you again for the opportunity we have to come and to worship you this morning. We ask, Lord, that you'll just continue to be with us throughout this time, and that you'd help us to continue to look for all of the opportunities that you set before us. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, again, my name is Don English, and there's several things I want to tell you about this morning to kind of introduce who I am so that you understand where I come from. And I got to turn this on. Hold on. There we go. So I am from upstate New York. All right. Before you get the rope, just hold on a second. I'm from upstate New York, and I've been there for pretty much my whole life. I spent a little bit of time in Oklahoma, just enough time, around 20 years old, just enough time to come down and steal my wife and take her back with me. So that's about it. And I'll tell you more about her in a while. But I've spent the last 25 years in upstate New York preaching the gospel. I spent 14 years in Johnstown and then 12 years in Albany. And so I've been preaching the gospel for just about 26 years, and it has been a great thing just to be able to do that. And I'll be honest with you, one of the things that a lot of people ask me is, how did you end up in Oklahoma if you've been up in New York? And the answer to that is very simple. And let me preface that by saying I didn't want to leave. One of the things in New York that you need to understand is that there are very few ministers up there at all. Some of you I know have been up there. I was just talking to a couple people about that. It's very sparse when it comes to the church. I'll explain how sparse here. Flavel Yakeley was a professor at Harding University. He did a survey for the Churches of Christ back in 1996. And in that survey, one of the things that he did is he actually took the population of each state and the population of the church in each state, and he gave a number for each state. So, for instance, one of the highest states, or one of the best states for the church, is Tennessee. And so for every one member of the church in Tennessee, there's 30 members. Now, this is back in 1996. But there's 30 members, for every one member of the church, there's 30 people in the state that are not Christians, okay, that are not members of the church. Okay, so that's the best. And then, Arkansas was 1 in 45, and Oklahoma was 1 in 50, I think. And then in 1996, I was looking at Texas, because Texas had a very similar population to New York at that time. Now, everybody's left New York since then, so it's nowhere even close anymore. But at that time, it was only about 2,000 people difference between New York and Texas. And so I was looking at Texas, and Texas, for every one member of the church, there were 63 people that weren't members of the church. I thought, man, the whole state of Texas, that's pretty good. Every person in the church goes out, they convert 63 people, and everybody in the state of Texas would be converted to Christ. Wouldn't that be awesome? And so since it's a similar population to New York State, I went ahead and looked at his findings for New York State. Anybody want to guess the number for New York State? 4,000. Wow, that's high. Anybody else? It was 2,745. And since I grew up there, I grew up in New York on a small farm in upstate New York. You'll hear me say that a lot. I didn't come from New York. I came from upstate New York. There's a difference, trust me. There's a big difference. I am not a city boy by any stretch of the imagination. But that kind of hit my heart. And we decided right then and there that if we're gonna do ministry, we're gonna go back to New York. Prior to that, I was an engineer. I have a mechanical engineering degree. I worked in a couple different places, designing plastic injection molds, and then right before I went into ministry, I was a engineer designing angiographic catheters for the medical industry. So let me rephrase that. In association with doctors, I didn't actually just pick them out. Doctors would give me drawings and ideas what they wanted, and I would make those for them. But from there, we went to Harding for 2 years through the HSBS program, and which was the greatest 2 years you never want to do again. It's a 4-year degree in 2 years. Not a lot of fun, but it was a wonderful experience. And then again, the last 26 years being in upstate New York. So why'd I leave? About 7 years ago, my mom came down with what's called Lewy body dementia. Anybody know what that is? It's Parkinson's and Alzheimer's having a kid. That's basically what it is. It's a fast progressive disease. My mother went from walking and talking and being a normal person to last week I fed her at the nursing home down here. She has to be fed. She is on a puree diet because she can't swallow very well anymore. She's towards the end of the disease. So 2 years ago, I decided that since my parents live down here, that I need to move down closer. And so I tried to control the situation. I'm going to be honest with you. That's what I tried to do. I tried, all these years of preaching, telling people to just let God be in control, and I'm going to tell you right now, I was trying to control the situation. I put out feelers, I put out resume, and I had job offers, and none of them were anywhere close. I mean, the closest one I ever found was 8 hours away from my parents. 8 hours away, I don't know about you, but I can get on a plane in New York and be at my parents' house in 8 hours. So it doesn't make sense to go and move somewhere that's an 8-hour drive away. And so I finally gave up after a couple years of trying to look and trying to get closer. I was like, all right, God, you've blessed me with this wonderful place to minister. You've blessed me with a great congregation. You've blessed me with the finances actually to be able to get on a plane anytime I want and get to my parents. So this must be your plan. Yeah. As soon as I gave up, 2 months later, I got a call from Burnt Cabin. They were looking for somebody who could take care of a camp, manage a camp, and preach and run their own retreats, because Burnt Cabin really wants to host their own retreats. I said, I can do that. And so I got out my map, I got out Google Maps, and I said, well, where's my parents? And so up here on the bottom of that slide, you'll see the circle, and that's where Burnt Cabin is, straight across the lake. I'm sorry, Burnt Cabin's at the top. Straight across the lake to the bottom, that's my dad's house. 20 minutes away. I try to control it, 8 hours. God says no. I leave it to God, 20 minutes. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Preached that sermon so many times in my preaching life, and I just didn't get it, I guess. I didn't hear it for myself, but I hear it now. And I have been blessed to be here since November 1st. I've been blessed to be able to see my dad, to help on my dad. My dad has macular degeneration also, so he won't be driving too much for many more years anyways, or and maybe not even a year, I don't know. It's kind of scary driving with them. And my mom is in a nursing home, and it's been a blessing to be able to go to see her weekly, and it's just amazing. So I tell you all that because I want you to know who I am, okay? While I've been in New York, the 25 years that I was preaching, I've also been vice president of Camp Hunt, which is the Christian camp up in upstate New York. And for the last 24 years, actually, for that. And so the camp experience, I'm very, very familiar with. I've been a director. Like I said, I've been vice president of the board for 24 years. And it's just, I've done everything out at camp that I could do. So God used all the experience of preaching and all the experience of camp and brought me to a place where I could hopefully use it all. And I think it's an amazing thing. Not to mention, I stole my wife from Oklahoma, and she's back home after 33 years. So she's a little excited about that, especially since she's a twin, and so her twin lives in Stillwell, and so that's a short drive for her also. So that's who I am, and this is my crazy family. I've got 6 kids, starting from 32 years old all the way down to 11, and I've got 6 grandkids. It's a fun family, a lot of fun. Craziness. Only one grandson, unfortunately. I'm really pushing my boys. I need more of those, but anyhow. So I want to go back to Burnt Cabin now, and really kind of fill you in on a few big things that have happened this year. And so in order to do that, I do need to tell you a little bit of the history of Burnt Cabin. I know more, you guys probably know more history of it than I do, but I'll tell you what I've learned. How's that? So it's all started in 1959. This, believe it or not, I didn't know this, but this was not the original site of Burnt Cabin Christian Camp. They moved here in 1959. It actually began a couple years earlier in a different site, and I'm not sure where that was, but in 1959, they started here, and right on Lake Tenkiller, and it was a great camp, and it still is a great camp. But for 30 years, they did very well. But in 1989, something happened. They basically almost went broke in 1989. And so a lot of the churches that used Burnt Cabin got together, and they decided, got together and tried to figure out what we're going to do to be able to save Burnt Cabin. And so what they did was they decided, okay, we're going to have one congregation and their eldership take over the camp for 5 years, and then after 5 years, we'll switch it to another congregation and their eldership, and they can do it for 5 years, and so on and so forth, and we'll try to build Burnt Cabin back up. Well, the Tahlequah Church, the South College Church in Tahlequah, said, we'll do it first. And they started, and 5 years later, the camp was doing much better. So that was good, and they went back to all the other churches and said, who's next? And they said, you're doing such a good job. And so 30 years later, it was still with the eldership of Burnt Cabin. One of the background reasons they hired me was, again, for my experience with Camp Hunt, to get Burnt Cabin back to what it's supposed to be. You see, Burnt Cabin isn't supposed to be under any specific church. It's a 503c. It is its own entity. It is Burnt Cabin Christian Camp Incorporated. And so it needs to have a board. And the board was just the eldership at that moment. And that's not the way it was set up, and it's not the way it was supposed to be. And so after writing some bylaws this spring, we now have 12 members of the Burnt Cabin Christian Camp Board of Trustees, or Board of Directors. I thought I fixed the Kevin Lee one, but I'm sorry, I guess I didn't do that. So anyhow, there are several from South College still in there, but you have also from Fort Gibson, you have from Chakotah, you have from, let's see, from Fort Gibson, Chakotah, Broken Arrow, and we're hoping to add actually 3 more slots to that. So we're finally back to having a board, an actual board of trustees for the camp. So it's not being run by just one congregation. And that's important because one of the reasons that I wanted to be able to come and to talk to people, and I've been doing this in several congregations, is to let you know that Burnt Cabin is as much your camp as it is anybody else's. Right? That's what we want. We want you to feel ownership at camp. It's your camp. We want you to have a say in what goes on at camp. We want you to have a say and an opinion on what we do there at camp, how it's used. We want that. We want the basic message of camp to be a place that all congregations can come and use to further the work of Christ, to further the maturity of your members, to further the work of God in this world. That's what it's for. It is a tool, nothing else. It is a tool. And we want you to feel ownership in that. We want you to know that this is yours also. So, this is not the right slideshow. I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. I changed this last night, and I apparently didn't put the right one on the USB stick that I gave you. It's okay. It's all right. So I'm going to go from this. Anyhow, so one of the things we do, obviously one of the big things we do is summer camp. And I know your kids go to summer camp. I see your church van there all the time for summer camp and for a lot of the retreats. And so, we have summer camps all summer. Broken Arrow, the people that host them, Broken Arrow, Perkins, Tahlequah, Chakotah, Lake Homa this year just started, Fort Gibson, and in 2025 we're adding another one, which is exciting, and it's not from Oklahoma. The Saturn Road Church of Christ in Garland, Texas, has decided they want to bring their kids up and have a week at camp. It just so happens the minister for that, or the youth minister for that congregation, spent all of his summers as a kid at Burnt Cabin, and so now he wants to continue to do that. So the other thing that we do is retreats, and I'm happy to say that retreats this year have doubled, actually. It is fantastic. Camp is a year-round camp. We don't close down at all. I do take a break at Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's, but other than that, every weekend is filled with people using the camp, again, to glorify God and to grow closer to Him. And so it's wonderful. This weekend, right now, they're worshiping out there this morning. You have Razorbacks for Christ. From Arkansas, they're there this weekend. Oklahoma State goes out there at least 3 times a year, and then you can just name just so many different churches that come out and use it. Sand Springs and Chakotah, and let's see here, Broken Arrow. There's Trail Life groups that come out there, which I'll explain a little bit about that. Farmington, the Blue Star, Fort Gibson. All these people, all these places come out and actually do that. And one of the things that is nice about that is that, again, it's providing you a place where you can get away from the normal, get out to nature a little bit, and absolutely enjoy what camp has to offer. One of the things we did for this is this year is we changed the pricing structure, and I'm not here to raise money or anything like that this morning, so don't. That's not why I'm here. Okay, but this is all about just information for you guys. The pricing structure did change for retreats this year. It's no longer the number of people that come out there. It's just by building. So, for instance, you can rent the retreat center for $250 a night. It holds 64 people. So, that's the way it is. It's just by building. So we did that, and in doing that, we've doubled the number of retreats because I have to say that's probably the best deal in town. So some of the things we're going to be doing, or some of the things we've done on this side, some of the things we've done this year, Minor Center, which is up on the, I guess your right or your left, up on your left, Minor Center got a new roof this year, new bathrooms. We put linear drains in to the bathrooms, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm going to tell you, as a camp person for the last 20 some odd years, nobody knows how to put the shower curtain inside a stand-up shower. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. As you know, the flood just floods the floor every single time. The kids are the worst, but I'm going to tell you, guys for some reason too. I don't understand. Anyhow, we've also made a really nice room in the cellar of Minor Center. The cellar was there. We've cleaned it up. It's got a air hockey table now and a couple of ping pong tables. But mostly it's a big open room for two reasons. One, a lot of Bible classes down there, and if you ever want to go have a great acoustical place to sing, that's the place. The kids love singing down there. But and the second reason actually is we are the Burnt Cabin Community Storm Shelter. It's during storms we have people that are at the RV parks and stuff that are right there, all calling up, going, "Are you open? Are you?" Yeah, come on down. And then that's the back side of the lodge. I don't have a newer picture on this one, but the upper dormers there have been redone. All new windows and siding on that were the projects for this year. The other one is we are finally putting in, and I guess this has been a big thing, we're finally putting in restrooms, not inside a dormitory room. Okay, they will just be external restrooms off the end of the canteen, which will allow people, obviously, not to have to go through other people's bedrooms to get to the restroom. So those are actually I just leveled the ground last week, so it's ready. We're digging footers hopefully next week, and we're going to be building that in the next couple months here. So we're excited about that. This is one of the things that we did this year also. It doesn't look like the picture at the top, okay? But that was the only concept picture I had. We actually put an archery range in. It was the number one biggest hit with all the kids this summer. We put an archery range in. We do have the awning and the covered area where they shoot from. It's not all concreted like that though, unfortunately. It's down in the woods. This is a picture off to your right on the bottom there. It's back behind the pool and into the woods. And the reason for that is because we are trying to open up this square area back there. Most people don't know Burnt Cabin has another 12 acres of land that's never been used, ever. And so we're trying to open it up here. We're going to do a couple different things. The purple up there you see is going to be RV slots, and the blue is going to be family housing, little family houses. And those are just eventual things down the road. Really, the big thing with these is that orange line up there is, before I came, they sold a access they started going in a different direction, Trail Life came up, along with American Heritage Girls in the Girl Scout area. Okay, so that's who I met with. I've been a part with Trail Life for quite a while, probably 10 years. For about 10 years up in upstate New York, and so I was excited to be able to talk to them about the idea here of using Burnt Cabin as the back part of it, the unused part of it, as a Trail Life campground, primitive campground. So what's going to be nice about that is that we are able to host all of these boys and give them the experience of the camp, and then maybe even, teach them about summer camp. And definitely the nice thing about it is very Christian based, very much so. And so therefore, the opportunities are going to be, 100-fold with this. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. So we're hoping to be able to do that. There's the RV park won't look like that either. Family housing will probably look like this eventually once we get to that. But again, that'll be a little bit further down the road. And then, let me see here. I do want to tell you about this. I said I wasn't trying to raise money, but I am trying to raise awareness. One of the things as a nonprofit organization is you have to have a membership. Okay, folks? So how many of you have ever gotten a card from your insurance company that says, the board is putting these people up for vote, right? You've all got that in the mail, right? You've got that in the mail because you are financially invested in that insurance company. Okay? That's why you get it. Because by law, they have to do that. All of their members have to have the ability to vote. And you look at that card, and how many of you do the same thing I do? Oh, that's nice. Right? Well, we don't want to do that. We have a board, and we're going to give them 3 years, okay, because they're brand new. So we need to give them some time to do stuff. We're going to give them 3 years, but it's starting in 2027. Everybody who is a member or a booster of Burnt Cabin will be voting for 3 members. Sorry, 3 members. There's 4 members. Sorry, 4 members. 4 members. You'll be voting for 4 members of the board every single year. Okay? So again, back to what I said. We want you to feel a part of this. We want you to feel ownership in this. We don't want to just have one congregation take care of it. We want everyone's ideas. We want everyone's help. We want everyone to feel like it's your camp. And so one of the things that we're doing because we need to, also is memberships. So we're calling them Burnt Cabin Boosters. You can do it on the website. All it means is that you are financially obligated, and it's a yearly thing. So it's $50 for a single membership. It's $75 for a couple. And it's just an annual way. Yes, it's supporting camp, okay, but also it's giving you a say. And starting next year, okay, because we just started it this year, but starting next year, towards the end of the year, it'll be November or December, there will be an annual meeting for all boosters. And we're going to bring you in. We're going to share with you all sorts of the new plans. We're also going to give you a voice and say, we want to hear. What do you like? What do you don't like? What do you think we need to have here? And we want all the boosters to come on in for it'll be a big Saturday. We'll feed you, and we'll have a great day at camp and listen. All board members will just listen to what everyone has to say. And so that's my big pitch today. I'm really not here to raise money or anything like that. I'm just here to let you know what's going on. We also have a new website. And the new website is burntcabinchristian.org. You'll find everything there, including ways to be part of the membership if you want to do that. Again, that's completely up to you. The other thing we're doing with Burnt Cabin also is trying to open up a lot of the areas. To say this as nice as I can. Burnt Cabin is kind of right there. Everything's kind of right on top of each other. And there's a lot of land still. So we're trying to open it up a little bit. And so there's a lot of areas. There we go. There's a lot of areas that just need to be cleared. And I'm not talking about clearing the whole thing, but leaving the big trees, and keeping, getting rid of the little trees, letting the big trees grow up, and allow camp to breathe and be a lot more open than it actually is, and be able to use all the land that God's blessed us with for all the kids. So we're going to be opening up a lot of land. This is behind the house, and that the one on the left there is the house that I live in. That is part of the camp. I was amazed this year. During summer camp, I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Where do you live?" I'm like, "In the house." They're like, "Camp's got a house?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's right there." But it's wonderful to be able to live right there. My kids love it. I have an autistic 11-year-old, and it's the best place in the world for him, including the pool, which he has been in since March. Okay, we opened up the pool in March, and somebody asked me, "Why would you open the pool in March?" I said, "It got up to 68 degrees. The water was 68. Why wouldn't you open the pool?" You see, my up north, that's pretty much the swimming temperature. So where I come from, and so my boys, including Dion here, we're competitive swimmers, and the pool for competitive swimming normally is 68, 70 degrees. So when the water temperature got up to that, we thought nothing about it. We were like, "Yeah, let's open the pool up. Hey, let's go." And then I found out that, the reason you guys don't like 68-degree weather, pool water, is because it gets up to 97 in the pool water. Oh my goodness, I was really surprised. My wife enjoys that, but I'm not sure I enjoy the 97-degree water. But I was still shocked. Trail Life came yesterday. A troop from Broken Arrow came yesterday and did their aquatics badge at the pool, which was really nice. The water temperature, and this is not a heated pool, this is just by the sun. The water temperature yesterday was 87 degrees still. 87 degrees. It blows my mind, okay? It blows my mind. Anyhow, so my youngest one loves it. We love being at Burnt Cabin. It's been such a blessing to be there. One of the other areas we're opening up is over here, and if you don't recognize where that is, that's the lower bunkhouse, and we're going to open that up so you can see the ball field from there. It's got a beautiful porch across the whole thing. When they built it, it's a gorgeous building, and it's got this big, giant porch across the whole front, but it looks at the woods. You can't see anything from the front porch, so I'm not even sure why you'd sit on the front porch. But so we're going to be opening up those woods, too, so you can see down through the ball field, and as soon as the leaves do fall off, it's a gorgeous view of the lake from there. So we're going to be working on those. So instead of trying to raise money from you, I want to try to raise some help from you, okay, in this way. One of the reasons I've been going around telling people, listen, I really want you to feel ownership in this, is because hiring one guy to go out there and actually do all these things, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Sam did his best. I'm telling you, Sam was a great guy. I really love Sam. But he was 84. Well, he's 85 now, so he was 84 when I came down. He's 85 now. He did a great job, but man, it's a lot of work. And I'm 55, and I'm telling you, I was like, wow, this is still a lot of work. I've had a lot of groups come up, some men's groups, some ladies groups, and even some youth groups come up to me and say, hey, we'd like to do some service work at some point out of camp. Call me when you have something to do. And I'm going to tell you what I tell every single one of them. No. I have a list of 83 things that need to be done at camp right now. When you want to do a service project, you call me and I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Because I'm not going to run out of things. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There's so many different things that can be done out there, again, to just further the work of Christ. I mean, we just want to keep that place looking good, but also usable for everyone. And so that's one of the things I really want to do. You know, the family housing, I want to go back to that because I forgot to mention why that is. If you've been out to camp, you'll notice that all the dormitories are exactly that, dormitories. Every building, there's 3 buildings that hold 64 people apiece, okay? 32 girls on one side and 32 boys on the other. And then the old lodge dining hall, it holds 56. Again, boys upstairs, girls upstairs, right? On either side. And so they're wonderful things for a summer camp. They're great for retreats. But one of the first things the board said to me is, hey, have you ever done a marriage retreat? And I said, yeah, I've done some marriage retreats. That'd be great to do a camp. That'd be great. We can advertise it and have people from all over the state come in and do a marriage retreat. And I got to camp and I looked around and I said, no. I would love to do a marriage retreat, but no. Now, all of you who've been married for a while, you know this. You know this. So just let me put a scenario out. We get together on Friday night. We go through some lessons. Things are going very well. There's some open communication. And then we send all the ladies back over here to one place, and we send all the guys over here to the other place. What do we do the next morning? Start over. That's exactly what we do. That doesn't work. There's got to be some time where couples come together at night. So family housing is a big thing for me. I'd really like to start that in the next 5 years here. Actually have some family housing out there where couples can come and stay and families can come and stay. Camp is also used for many different things. With the way we've structured the pricing for retreats, I get a lot of family. I've gotten several family reunions out there. I had a family. Well, it's been coming for years. This is my first time doing it, but there's a family reunion of the Yang family. It's a Chinese family. They come in every year from all over the world, and they hunt squirrels and eat them. I grew up in the country, had squirrel before, not a big deal. They asked me to come in as their honored guest and eat with them, not a problem. Went through the line. Okay, big problem. Their salad they had is the hottest thing I've ever eaten in my life. I thought that was the safe stuff. But then squirrel head soup. When those little guys are just bobbing around looking at you, that's a little hard. I'm just picking through there, trying not to get ahead in get ahead in the bowl. But anyhow, so not just family retreats, but one of the ones that is scheduled to come, which I can't wait for, is another one that comes out every year. There is actually a Renaissance fair that comes out and rents it for the weekend. So it's an opportunity. Everything we do is an opportunity to tell people about Christ. And so that's the way I look at it, and it's a wonderful place to be able to do that. So we're just about finished here, but I did want to leave a couple minutes to answer any questions about this. New logo, by the way. We got a new logo and new merchandise. Again, not selling stuff, but there is new merchandise out there. Any questions? Any questions at all about the camp? About my crazy family? No? Oh, yes. So that's one of the first things I did. right on the front page of the website. The first thing you're going to see is the logo. Right underneath the logo, you can scroll through and see the open dates on the calendar and see who's renting. So it's again, we really want you to feel like it's your camp, okay? We want you to have ownership of it, and we're not trying to hide anything. We just want everybody to know everything that's going on, okay? So that's what we want. I'm really excited. I will tell you this. After preaching every single week for the last 25 years, it kind of feels like semi-retirement. It really does, even though there's a lot of outside work to do, but it really does. I get up in the morning and I choose from that list of 83 things. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you responsible for all the dishes and cleaning and
Yes.
everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing we do.
Bring your own stuff?
It's bring your own stuff. I provide. You don't have to bring toilet paper and stuff like that. All the bathroom stuff is provided for. Kitchen stuff, though, yeah, you bring your own kitchen stuff. I am working on a plan, and it's down the line still. I am working on a plan where I may have a couple meal plans for retreats that you can purchase at cost. I'm not trying to make money, but trying to make it easier for people to do it, because that's one of the things I've heard is, man, I have to go shopping for 100 people for the weekend. It's crazy, and I can actually just order it and have a big truck deliver it. So in the future, that's what I'm planning on doing, is trying to do that, and I can feed people for probably about $5 a person, or no, $3.50 a meal is what I think I can feed people for. So in the future, I hope to have a couple meal menus that say, if you'd like to select one of these with the retreat, you can do that. You don't have to. You can bring your own food. Doesn't matter. But that's what I'm leaning towards. Any other questions?
Is there ever any downtimes? I mean, there's no one there?
This year, February. February was pretty down, but of course we were stuck at camp for about 10 days in February, I think, too. So I think that's probably why. Oh yeah, weekdays, which is the times that you have to mow and all that kind of stuff too, and work on the website and everything else. But no, just to answer that question in this way. From this weekend to the end of the year, Thanksgiving weekend and Christmas weekend are open, or not open because I'm taking them for my family. So, other than that, there are churches or college groups or youth groups that are coming out and spending the weekend. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. There's been 27 retreats this year. Just to put that in perspective, last year there was 12. So we're excited about that. Really excited. I really think it has to do with the new pricing. I mean, I don't know about you, but the last time I stayed in a hotel was like $125 for four people in a room, and so $250 for 64. Pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. But anyhow, any other questions? Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity just to tell you about Burn Cabin. I'll be just preaching a sermon during the worship. I'm not talking about Burn Cabin. But stop me anytime here while I'm here today. My wife apologizes. I tend to go and do these with one of my other sons and come and talk, because my son is officially it's Asperger's that he has, and he just doesn't do well with new people. First time, if you guys know anybody who's on the autism spectrum, you understand that. And so my wife apologized. She'd love to be here, but we feel it better to keep a normal Sunday for my son. So thank you very much.